Supplemental math videos from Circle Christian School. Multiplying rational expressions. Gonna have to factor, 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 and then cancel. Just gotta remember to factor completely. You might have to GC fit it, look at the difference of two squares, work on the double bubble, or just factor by grouping. Then do what you always do with a fraction, cancel from top to bottom. Take it into its lowest terms. Number to number, letter to letter, binomial to binomial, polynomial to polynomial. Got to get a bigger license plate. All right, it's just multiplication. Is a fraction times a fraction times a fraction. But we've got to check everything and make sure everything's factored completely. These guys are good because they're just simple binomials. The next two, a little bit harder because they're the little factor by grouping guys. So let's just write them a little bit separately here. And remember, when you got to do the factor by grouping thing, it's a times c, which is a negative 10. So we need factors for a negative 10 that when we add them together equal the b. In this case, a negative 9. Okay, well, that's, you got 2 and 5 and you got 1 and 10. So I'm going to guess on 1 and 10. Big number carries the sign. So he's a negative, he's positive. Branch down. That's the factor by grouping thing. Figure how you want to put things together. This one really doesn't matter. So I'm going to do my negative 10x and my positive 1x. The whole deal is that they equal that negative 9x there. Minus the 5. Bring everybody else down. 2x squared. It's a game. And now we're going to make our little groups and factor each one of the groups. Ooh, I made that kind of small. Sorry, guys. First group, we're going to take out a 2x. Everybody can have a 2. They can have an x. Going to leave us with x minus the 5. Plus, got to take something out here, so at least a 1. And it's got to leave us with the same twin here, so x minus 5. Okay. I don't have to bring it really all the way down because I'm just going to put it up top here. Got my twins up top here, x minus the 5, and the leftovers, 2x plus the 1, like so. I'm going to cross this out because I've changed it to my new factors. Okay, so we're going to have to do the next one. Another factor by grouping. Don't have any common factors inside here, so we don't have to do any GC fitting. Need factors for, again, a times c, the first guy times the last guy, negative 6. That, when we add them together, equal the middle guy, positive 1. Okay, positive 1. Negative 6. Not 6 and 1, 2 and 3. Sorry. And again, the big number is going to carry the sign. Okay, branch it out. See if I can give myself a little bit more room this time. Oops, nope. You know what? I think I want the 3 here. So let me do a little white outing. Doesn't matter. Well, let me leave it as the negative 2. 3 would have been a little more strategic. But it's okay. It'll still work. No problem. Minus the 2. Bring that down. The 3x. Squared, bring it down, make your little groups. Yeah, much better room here. Alrighty. Well, let's see. We can take an x out of the first one. Has to leave us with the 3x minus the 2. Plus, always have to take something out of the second one, even if it's just a 1. And of course, it's going to leave us with 3x minus 2. Great, it's a twin, works well. And again, I'm not going to complete it because I'm going to do the completion up top here. So we have the twins, 3x minus the 2, and the leftovers, x plus 1. And I'm going to cross this one out because basically I've changed it. Moving along to the last one, haha, our favorite, the difference of two squares. Very good. So we end up with an x. Both these are an x. Square root of the first one, square root of the last one, plus minus. They love those. Nice little easy double bubble here. First guy's going to be an x because when you FOIL them out, it gives us an x squared. Factors of 10, that's the last guy here, 2 and 5. Add them together, it gives us the middle guy of a 7. Both are positive. Awesome, good. Cross them out too. All right. Now, if you want, we can go into a rewrite just to see everything a little bit better. And the x minus 5. It's not necessary that you have to rewrite, but I'm just going to do it so you can see things just a little bit better. X minus the 5, the 2x plus the 1. See if I can get a little faster at my writing here. Whoop. And a 3x minus a 2, and the x plus the 1, x plus the 1. Kind of seeing where some things are going to get canceled here. And of course our difference of 2 squares, x minus the 1, and x plus 2, and the x plus 5. Cool. Okay. Like to use a different color for this, so let's just start at the beginning. Are there any x plus 5s? Well, sure. There's one over at the front and the back. Then we have an x minus 5, so that's cool. So an x minus 5, x plus 1, and an x plus 1. And anything else top to bottom? Nope, so we go straight across the board here. What's left over, across the numerator, and we end up with a 2x plus the 1 and a x minus the 1 and a 3x minus the 2 across the bottom and an x plus 2. Very good. And now we're all done. Ooh, make a pretty little something. Always circle or something your answer because you never know if you have to use it somewhere. Okay, division with these guys, the same as division with fractions. You do the same change flip. First guy stays the same. Oops, my blue line didn't work. The sign changes and then we have to do the flip. So I've already done it. And we just check everybody out to see what can be factored. We can factor a 3 out of the first denominator, minus the 3, times, okay, the first guy's a regular doubly bubbly, double bubble here, which is an x and an x, and factors for a negative 2, which is one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. Middle guy here carries a sign. So that's a minus, this is a plus. We can take an x out of the next guy. And that leaves us with an x plus the 2. Ooh, starting to see some things are the same. So we factor, cancel. I'm going to start with the 4 and go number to number. We have a 4 and a 3. So we can't cancel there. Letter to letter, so we have an x and we have an x. So that's gone. Binomial to binomial, an x plus 2 and an x plus 2, and nothing else. Go across the top, the leftovers. So we have a 4, x minus the 1, over a 3, and an x minus the 3. I don't distribute these back out. I keep everybody as little factors because, again, you don't know when you're going to have to use them. Okay, a quickie, something new, the complex fraction. That's where you have a fraction over a fraction. So just to give you a little bit of a show here, it's the same thing as, for instance, I have 1/2 over, let's do 2/3. I like 2/3. That works really well. Okay, and so we just have to ask ourselves what this really is saying here. And all fractions are what? Well, division problems. Remember, that's where the division sign comes from. Top number divided by bottom number. So same thing here. We can actually just bring the denominator up and write it as a division problem, which means we have to do the same change flip thing. And we just get our answer there, 3/4. Another way that we can do this instead is by just canceling out the denominator here. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So we get the 3/2, and we end up with the same result, 3/4. Okay, so the other one just looks big. It's really truly not, but I do notice we have to do a little bit of work inside, a little bit of work outside. So I'm just going to rewrite this, noting that my denominator for my top fraction has a square going on here. So that means 5x times 5x, or 25x squared. Remember, at any time I go a little bit fast, you can just stop the tape, run it back, listen to it again. Bottom one, we see in the denominator here, the bottom fraction, that it's also being squared, so that's 2y times 2y, or 4y squared. And then we have a 10 and a very poorly x to the third power written there. Looks like it's something a little bit bigger, just bear with me. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to cancel out my denominator by just multiplying it by the reciprocal, by Cheyenne. And if I do it down below, I have to do it up above. Oops, 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 oops. I saw what I just did there. Okay. This is a 3. You were probably screaming at the computer screen here going, Mrs. Washington, that's a 3. In fact, I'll white it out and rewrite it. I did see it eventually. Okay, good deal. All right, down below, see, that cancels out. And we're just going to go number to number, letter to letter. All right, let's see, we got 4 and a 4. We can divide a 5 out of the 10 for a 2, and a 5 out of the 25 for a 5. So that takes care of the numbers. Across the top we have a 2, down below we have a 5. Let's look at the letters. I'm going to go x's to x's, so we have an x squared down below, which means we only have 1 left up top. And I'm going to go to the y's, so we got 2 down below and 3 up above, leaves us with 1. And there we go. So it's not really all that bad, it just takes a little more patience. All right, just remember what it's saying, top number divided by bottom number.